Turning up the heat on Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, the DA lays criminal charges against him. A victory lap for Semenya. The European Court of Human Rights has ruled she's been discriminated against. And Joberg's mayor promises to fill potholes by August. No one is holding their breath. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Will he go or will he stay? The fate of Police Minister Senzo Mchunu hangs in the president's hands. Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that he'll finally be briefing the nation on Sunday regarding the bombshell allegations of corruption within the top brass of the country's security cluster and beyond. It's been almost a week since KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi made startling allegations of undue political interference in the SAP's Political Killings Task Team.
In view of the implications for national security, President Ramaphosa has been seized with this matter in recent days and will, following various consultations, take the nation into his confidence at 7 p.m. this coming Sunday, the 13th of July.
The Democratic Alliance has officially laid criminal charges against Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, saying he committed fraud by lying to Parliament. The party says it won't sit by and watch ministers like Mchunu lie to Parliament, which is tasked with holding the executive to account. The DA joins the official opposition MK party, which has also taken the legal route by opening a criminal case against him, as well as Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya, who the party accuses of obstructing the course of justice.
The DA returned to the Caledon police station in central Cape Town to lay criminal charges against Senzo Mchunu just 9 days after laying similar charges against Higher Education Minister Nobuhle Ngabane in a separate matter. The party says Mchunu clearly misled Parliament in March when he told the police committee that he did not know businessman Brown Mokhotsi. Yesterday, Mchunu backtracked on his earlier denial, saying he actually knows Mokhotsi. DA Deputy Chief Whip Bax Nodata says this admission is a clear violation of the law.
So that means he deliberately lied to members of Parliament, which breaks Section 27, and ultimately breaks the Powers and Privileges Act, which means that he deliberately misled Parliament and members of Parliament.
Nodata says in addition to the criminal complaint and a parliamentary inquiry into Mchunu, the party has also approached Parliament's Ethics Committee to conduct its own investigation. Babalo Ndanse, Eyewitness News, Cape Town.
The European Court of Human Rights has ruled in favour of South African Olympic champion Semenya, finding that she was discriminated against by rules barring her from competing because of her natural testosterone levels. In 2019, Semenya was barred from competing in certain women's track events, including her signature 800 metres, after World Athletics introduced regulations requiring female athletes with differences in sexual development to medically lower their testosterone to eligible levels. Semenya initially challenged the rules at the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Switzerland, arguing that the regulations violated her human rights and were unfairly targeted. Her case and several appeals were dismissed by Swiss courts, which sided with World Athletics. But the Strasbourg-based Human Rights Court today upheld a 2023 decision that the rules breach Semenya's rights to privacy, non-discrimination, and effective legal protection, marking a significant victory for the two-time Olympic gold medalist.
I'm a very positive person. Obviously, the outcome of it's great for me, great for the athletes. The most important part about this is that we remain, victorious. We stay focused. We stay, up all the time, and we make sure that athletes are protected. I think that's our main goal.
New shocking revelations have emerged in the case of a primary school teacher in Cape Town accused of sexually grooming a minor at her former school. The 35-year-old woman, who cannot be named due to the nature of the case, is accused of sending a 13-year-old boy explicit messages and a video. The Mitchells Plain Magistrate Court has heard how the teacher initiated conversations with a grade 7 pupil on social media platforms TikTok and WhatsApp.
During proceedings last week, the court asked the investigating officer to get more information from the victim for purposes of bail judgment. The investigating officer today revealed new information that was not contained in the initial interview conducted. The victim told the officer that the teacher messaged him suggesting inappropriate acts of a sexual nature. The 13-year-old boy also told the investigating officer that she would tell him that she thinks of him while using sex toys. The victim added that he didn't understand what she was talking about and added that it made him feel uncomfortable. The magistrate has postponed the matter to Tuesday next week for more arguments based on the new information and for bail judgment. Ndotozelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Mitchell's Plain.
The crime of murder, you are sentenced to 15 years in prison.
The family of slain anti-apartheid activist Caiphus Nyoka says they are relieved one of his killers has finally been imprisoned. Earlier today, the Pretoria High Court sentenced former apartheid police officer Johan Mar to 15 years behind bars. On the 24th of August 1987, Mar and his colleagues fatally shot Nyoka multiple times outside his Davidson home in front of his family.
The sentence of 15 years, we accept it. And though we have mixed feelings because my parents died without knowing this truth.
And the Pretoria High Court says it doesn't believe Mar is truly remorseful for killing Nyoka.
The accused fully aware that he did not participate in the TRC processes, which had this matter in 1987, wait for almost over 20 years to disclose what he did in 1987. I'm not persuaded that the accused indeed had a true appreciation of the consequences of his actions.
Coming up, the heartwarming story of a 12-year-old show jumper hoping for Olympic glory. Evidence leader in the tribunal investigating allegations of sexual harassment against Judge President Selby Mbenenge says there isn't enough proof to suggest that he didn't attempt to expose his erect penis to a junior staffer. The head of the Eastern Cape Division of the High Court, in his evidence in chief, provided the Judicial Conduct Tribunal with a tracker report of the vehicle he was driving on the 14th and 15th of November 2022.
Now, you'll remember that in May this year, we heard evidence from one of the officials in the Office of the Chief Justice that spoke to the footage of the 14th of November 3 years ago and spoke to the chambers of the Judge President and whether there was any movement there. Now, that footage does not show Andiswa Mengo actually going into the offices or the chambers of the Judge President and only shows her walking in the corridors of the courtrooms. And so the evidence leader, Advocate Salome Skeepers, says there isn't enough evidence or conclusive evidence to show that that incident, alleged incident, did not take place. You'll remember that earlier this week, when the Judge President began with his turn on the stand or in the hot seat, he showed the tribunal some evidence or the tracker report of the vehicle that he was driving in on the 14th and the 15th of November 2022. And he was able to account for some of his movements that day. On the 15th of November in particular, he says that he arrived at the court building around 9 a.m. and then left around midday. On the 14th, he says that afternoon he was at the bank and also delivered a lecture in the courtroom. Now, the tribunal has adjourned. It is scheduled to reconvene on the 21st and 22nd of October this year for oral arguments, after which the tribunal panel will then consider the evidence that is before it before arriving at a determination.
Former Deputy President David Mabuza has been remembered as a disciplined and punctual leader who had little patience for lateness. ANC members have been sharing some of their most treasured moments with Mabuza at a memorial service at the Pole village in Mbombela. Mabuza passed away in hospital last week after battling a short illness.
He gave us a life that he never had. And he always reminded us of that. When things felt hard, he would simply say, Twala Spambana Sa, which means carry your cross and go. It was his way of saying that life isn't always easy, but there's no challenge that's beyond your capability. He supported every one of our wild ideas, from soccer to tennis, photography, cricket, law, leadership. If we were ready to go for it, he would say go for everything, and he meant it. Because he wanted us to dream big and also follow through.
And if you want to catch an Uber from OR Tambo International Airport, you won't be able to. Drivers have stopped working over the impoundment of their vehicles. They're protesting what they call an unfair and lengthy permit process, which they say can take up to 5 years to complete. Under South African law, e-hailing drivers must have the correct operating permits. Without them, their cars can be impounded or even deregistered. The dispute, part of a wider, long-running national issue, has now spilled over to the country's busiest airport, which handles more than 60,000 passengers a day, many relying on Uber and other e-hailing services.
Currently, we're going to make sure we're not going to operate up until Uber responds to our grievances and they give us something solid. So far, no response.
Tackling Joberg's chronic pothole crisis. It'll cost about 700 million rand. Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero has revealed this, promising to do the job during the War on Potholes campaign launch in Hyde Park. The city's road agency has begun its work on repairing damaged road infrastructure in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg.
What we have done, we said we are targeting Region B and Region E. We are starting in this ward, which is Ward 90, and of course neighboring wards. Our commitment is that at least in Ward 90, which is where we are, by mid-August to end August, we should have done all the potholes.
Felicity Tennison is a 12-year-old show-jumping prodigy who's not only dominating local competitions, but also chasing an Olympic dream. From her first pony ride at the age of 4 to now ranking top in her category, Felicity is already clearing major hurdles. She's currently ranked first in the junior 1.20 meter division.
Horse finds you. Like when you're looking for a horse, a lot of people like to rush it, but like the right horse comes, and when you sit on it and you ride it, some people just know, they like have a feeling. It is there's not a lot of black kids that do this sport, but there's starting to be more and more, and I think it's good that we're getting like a more diverse sport. I don't think it's hard because everybody, like, if you really like riding and you start riding, like, it's not very like, oh, it's a white person sport, you can't do it.
This comes with its risks. At just 7 years old, she took a serious fall from her first pony, an accident that led to 2 facial reconstruction surgeries. So, will she make the Olympics?
Well, she's an Olympic hopeful for 2029. So with a bit of luck, maybe this goes out to the right people. People get in touch with us. We can kind of build something for her for the next 5 years. I see her competing overseas. Her coach also agrees that, it's kind of where they need to go if they want to make a career out of it.
And we'll be rooting for her if she does. See you for more again tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.